advised me, look, those people there, the immigration officer, like you and me. There's nothing different about them. Don't shake. Don't be scared when they begin asking you questions. Sometimes they are quite scary. They bombard you with very difficult questions
to make life difficult.
Yeah. Shout and ask you and squeeze their faces as if
Yeah.
But I took it easy. I got there and they told me, if you want to meet an Englishman, for him to respect you, put on a tie.
Okay.
And start your sentence with please, or end your sentence with please, and then they'll sit up and look at you. Well, hey, this guy, So I was coached, immediately I got there, I greeted the immigration officer. He said, yeah. He greeted me, and then I asked him, how's the weather today?
Really?
Yeah, giving an impression that I'm
confident.
Yes, confidently. And then he said, oh, the weather, you told me about temperature and so on. And
conversationally?
Yes.
So he said it's a different...
So the fear was gone. So I talked to him normally.
More relaxed.
And he asked more relaxed atmosphere. He asked me what I was coming to do in the UK. I told him what I was coming to do.
Okay.
And then he just gave me a stamp and said, have a nice day.
Serious?
I entered the UK.
Okay. Please, you were telling us about your getting to UK. You were given a visa to enter. Please, what are the things you did there? I
went to the UK and, I went to meet most of my friends there at the sixth form level.
Okay.
Some of them. Yeah, some of them came to pick me from the house. We went out to the club, and I was wearing a common shirt, and they told me, no, why don't you put a jacket on? I said, no. In Africa, I can sleep in the fan,
Right.
So I went out with them. I walked about 100 meters and I said, oh my God.
It was terribly cold.
Terribly cold.
You came in the winter.
Quickly, I went back home. I said that I can go out again. So I was there. I was trying to go to school, but it was not easy at all. One, you don't have the same permit. You don't have the working permit. How do you go to school? And what scholarship? I thought it was going to be easy.
But some people were working and going to school.
Some of them were doing that.
Yeah.
You can't just go to the UK and go to school all of a sudden.
You have to start from somewhere.
Sometimes you can stay home about 1 year to see what you have to do. Get work to support you and so on.
How long were you in the UK?
I was there for about almost 2 months.
Oh, you didn't stay long then?
What
happened?
My brother was here. I called him and I said,
okay. You have a brother in the Netherlands?
I had a brother here. So I called him and he said, okay, you can come. So I went to the Netherlands embassy. They just gave me a visa immediately. So I came by the ferry.
Just like that?
Yes.
Okay.
That time it was easy. So I'm talking about 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah. There were not many of us.
No. And some of them had not seen black people so much. So if you convince them,
they let you in.
You win.
Okay. And you came to the Netherlands. What was the main difference between the Netherlands and the UK?
Language.
Okay. How did you cope?
If people don't understand your language, they think you are stupid.
That is true. Especially in Europe.
In Europe, if you speak their language, they take you as an equal.
What if you speak English to them?
To the Dutch people?
Yeah.
Fortunately, the Dutch people can understand English, can speak very good English.
Okay.
So we didn't have a problem here at all. That is why most of the people here from Africa, they cannot speak Dutch.
Because they use English, and the Dutch people
immediately you speak English. No, immediately you start speaking Dutch, and they see that you're from Africa. They begin to speak English to you.
Okay, unlike France or...
No, yes, exactly.
Or the Germany.
And for me, any Dutchman I see, and I want to talk to, I speak Dutch. If you speak English, I will tell you I don't understand English.
You are trying to force yourself to learn the language?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they will discourage you by speaking the same language with you, English.
So, for how long did it take you to master the language?
It took me, it took me about 6 years to learn to master the language. 6 years.
6 years.
I've never been to a classroom to learn Dutch.
But you speak it very well now.
Very well. Why? I learned the language from children.
Okay. Your children?
Any child at all.
Okay. How did you do that?
Women.
Were you moving with a lot of women?
Huh?
Were you moving with a lot of women?
No. The reason is that the old men, they use the big language, deeper language.
Okay.
So you can't understand him.
The vocabulary.
Yes. Children, they don't understand the vocabulary very well. They use simple vocabulary which you can understand. Okay. And then the women too, especially the old women, they are very sensible enough to know that you are a foreigner. So they break the language down to your level. Okay. But if you talk to the old men, just they don't talk much. You took one grammar here, it means a lot, and he doesn't talk much. But the women, the old ladies, you know.
What are the things you remember doing when you, apart from mastering the language? How did you survive?
I was doing black job.
Because you haven't got the papers?
No, dirty job.
What about dirty job?
Cleaning. Jobs that people who are staying here don't want.
Okay. And
moving snow. Sometimes, you know, I worked with a company in Amsterdam North.
Yeah.
They produce gas. I had a job there. There was so much snow that in the yard was filled with ice. So I had a job there, my first job. So you remove all the ice, put them in wheelbarrow, and then drop them at the bank of the canals.
You were doing that in the snow?
The first job.
How are you coming from Africa, from very sunny place, trying to push wheelbarrow full of snow?
If you don't have job, what do you do? Any job at all.
You are willing to do. You are
willing, more willing. Because in Africa we have suffered so much. You have done enough hard work. So snow is nothing to me. But I started. They gave me the wheelbarrow, pickaxe, shovel.
Yeah.
And then I started removing.
Enthusiastically.
Yes, enthusiastically. I went about 10 times and I felt the ice was beating me so much. The frosty and my ears was cutting. My eyes, nose, my nails. I couldn't even move.
10 wheelbarrows.
Yes.
What happened then? What did they tell you?
So I was standing at the bank of the canal and I nearly wept. It was so cold. I said to myself, what the hell am I doing here? It was so new to me. I had never seen snow.
And then you are shuffling snow?
Yes. To remove it from the road so that the trucks can come in and load.
That was your first job? And
these white people I was working with, they told me, can you go inside and drink coffee? Because they saw that I was shivering.
You were suffering.
So I went in there.
They took pity on you?
Yes. I went in there. I didn't like coffee too, you know. We produce coffee but we don't like it. So I put hot cocoa, drank it, and I went back. I went one time, second time, it was the same problem. I couldn't walk. But I tried to do it for about 3 hours. I went home.
Were you not sick?
I was not sick, but I suffered. It was so cold. So I went home and I told my people that it's so cold I couldn't do the job. They were so angry.
Oh. Okay. What did
they had no cause to be angry. Why? Because I was new in Europe and I didn't have the necessary shoes to wear.
To work in the snow.
Or shirts or
But why didn't they find you in a cleaning job in an office?
Who should find you?
I thought you were with your brother.
He was an illegal immigrant.
Okay.
I had the same status like him.
Okay. So from clearing snow, what else did you do?
And well, I came home and I sought for another job. That time you can just walk into housing bureau and then you can get a job. Sometimes they will tell you, go and bring your brother.
Okay.
You know, we were not many here, you know, and we were hardworking people. Because if you get a job, in order for them to make you a permanent worker, you have to work hard. And all Ghana people I met here were hardworking.
Okay. They give you probation?
Yes, just 2 months.
Okay. After that,
I had a lot of jobs here, cleaning and so on and so forth. And
for how long did you do that? Many jobs?
About 8 years.
8 years. In the meantime, you were trying to also thinking that, oh, how can I improve my situation? What did you do?
Yes, I decided to go to school, but my documents were not regularized. So I tried to regularize my documents before going to school. So I met a lady here. We married, and I had my stay and working permit. And I had other jobs. I was working. The last job before I went to school was Siemens, Netherlands.
Siemens. What did they do?
I went there. It's an electronics company.
Okay.
I was at the quality control section.
Okay.
So I was working there, and then I decided to go to school to broaden my horizon, to see for greener pastures.
So what did you study?
I studied Travel agency.
Travel agency.
So I'm not.
What drove you into travel agency?
My sister then in Africa was working with Nigeria Airways.
Okay.
And she was so smart, and I really she impressed me so much that I decided to be an air hostess.
Oh. You wanted to be an air?
No, not really. She was an air hostess.
Okay.
So I wanted to work in the airline industry.
Okay.
So I decided, what can I do with my life here in Netherlands?
Okay.
So I started doing correspondence, looking everywhere to see if I can find school and so on.
So
I found the school.